This past week, Bill Clinton got irritated at Donald Trump's attacks on the Clinton Foundation. He responded by raising questions about Trump's own charitable foundation.
I spent half my lifetime doing this work. I got tickled the other day when Mr. Trump called my foundation a criminal enterprise. That was pretty funny, considering. Unlike him, we actually say who gives us money and what we spend it on, and disclose our tax returns and things like that.
Was Donald Trump's charitable foundation a front for fraudulent self-dealing? My guest is attorney and tax law expert Joe Devlin. Joe, break this down for us. What is it that we think Donald Trump may have done wrong with his foundation?
Well, let's start with Congress. Congress wants us to give money to charity, make charitable contributions. And to encourage us to do so, what Congress does is it changes the tax laws. So, to give a simple example, let's assume I make a $100,000 charitable contribution to a charity. I get a deduction on my tax return for that. That reduces my taxable income by $100,000. So that if I'm in a 50% tax bracket, I lower my tax liability by $50,000. In essence, then, what happens is I only pay $50,000 to make a $100,000 charitable contribution.
If I have a foundation, I give money to the foundation. What can I use the Sue O'Connell Foundation money for, and what did Donald Trump use his money for that's got him in hot water?
Well, what happens is, let me explain by example. The self-dealing rules don't allow a founder to use foundation money for personal expenses. I, for instance, can't use a foundation to fund my children's college tuition expenses. I could establish a foundation. I could get the charity status, do the proper filings, and then I could make that contribution personally of $100,000 to that charity. I'll get the deduction for it and the attendant tax benefit. The problem is, if my foundation is using its funds to pay for my children's college educations, that's self-dealing, and it's simply not allowed. So two cases come to mind. One is a Trump hotel in Florida that erected an 80-foot flagpole. The town ordinance said nothing higher than 42 feet. So we've got a dispute, and the town, trying to get him to take it down, started levying fines on a daily basis, and these fines added up. Ultimately, the town and the Trump hotel, a private business, settled the dispute. The town waived the fines, and in exchange, the private business agreed to pay $100,000 to a local veterans group. That's a business expense to be paid by the business. Second example involves a Trump golf course. There was an event. There was a large cash reward for a hole-in-one. Gentleman got that hole-in-one, wasn't paid. We have the dispute again. Ultimately, the golf course, a private Trump enterprise, agreed to pay that money. But in both of those cases, the hotel and the golf course, the money wasn't paid by the business. It was paid by the Trump Foundation. And foundations are not there to pay the private, unrelated, personal expenses of the founder of the foundation. It's just not allowed.
Do you think people will actually get this and care about it?
Well, you know, in this climate, if we're going to care about one party's and one candidate's tax returns and alleged misdealings, we've got to concern ourselves with the other one.
Thanks, Joe Devlin. Thanks for coming in and laying
You're
it
welcome,
out for us.